is through that, right? Got to get it all, got to get it lined up. I'm a little cockeyed. I'm still a little cockeyed. This thing's wobbly wobbly. Hello, Linda. You've been here at 10:30. You were here. Wow, you were early. Yeah, I am kind of all bundled up because I'm cold. Look how long my hair has gotten. It used to be I put this hat on and I looked like, I had nothing, but now I can put it forward. So, I don't know if anybody's here. Let me go on to this. There we go. Ooh, I have to turn, oops. Let me turn the volume down on his computer. Hello, Nancy Smith. How are you, darling? Give myself a thumbs up. Oh, it's been a. You ever have one of those days where, it starts out well and then in one phone call it just goes. Oh, the lag is real tonight. Ooh, what is that? 8 seconds? Wow, that's a bad lag. So, anyway, I started off. Oh, look, my hair is a mess from being in this hat all day. I started off the day with we were expecting the repairman, so I had to get there. Had to be up early, and the guy didn't come, and the guy didn't come, and um, I was like, I made Mike get up because I was like, I have to go because I've got to. I have to go pick up more bubble wrap, and I had because I can't. I'm out. I can't pack anymore without it. So I had to get more bubble wrap, and usually I order it online because it's cheaper. But this was, I didn't want to wait, and and I had to pick up the money for selling my car. It's official. I am carless from now on. Um, where's the snow? Not here. Not all I got was rain the other day. Uh, so but it was great. I mean, I went out, thought, okay, I need your car for an hour, Mike, because I got to go pick up the money from having scrapped my car because my car with over 200,000 miles on it. The repair bill was going to be rough estimate was 2,300, possibly a little more. There's no point in getting that car fixed. And it had so much starting to go wrong with it. It was a 2001 Chevy Malibu. I got it in 2003, and at that point, it only had like 12 or 1,400 miles on it. So, you know, I got my money's worth. I paid $7,000 for that car. I got my money's worth out of that car. So we scrapped it. I had to pick up that money, had to run to the bank, had a bag full of stuff to go to Green Drop, which if you don't have a Green Drop near you, um, it's a place where you can donate things to. So it gives you an alternative besides just going to Goodwill. Green Drop picks up for Federation of the Blind, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Purple Heart, the something DePaul. Scott from Old Curiosity Shop talks about that in Philly, and I never can remember the name. So you have a morning owl. Is it morning where you? Oh, so I got that stuff dropped off. I started off stopping at Big Lots because I wanted to start looking for the only thing that these two are getting for Christmas is well, Mike, I want to fill his Christmas stocking. So I went to Big Lots to start looking for little stuff. And Gary, I'm just gonna get a gift card to Wawa because it's what he wants, what he asked for. So but But so I had all this arranged. It's big lots for green drop because everything then would have been a circle. I'd have ended at my bank, which is literally I had to pass for the big lots and go to the Wawa because I drank Mike's creme brulee coffee, iced coffee this morning, and I drank like half of it trying to get this big horse pill down. And he was not happy. So I promised him I'd bring back a fresh one for him. Um, so I did that, and then I get to my bank, and I'm in such a hurry. Thank goodness the bank teller caught it because what I wrote on this slip and what I handed her was $100 difference. I forgot to count the $100 bill that was in with all the 20. Oops. So she caught it. Uh, and so we got that all deposited. And then I get home. Mike gets his car. He's going to go into work early. He's halfway to work and he gets a phone call going, would you mind not coming in until, 6 and stay until 3 in the morning? Oh, so we figure, okay, fine. Um, the guy was here, did finally show up to try while I was out. The guy to fix the dryer showed up. They gave him the wrong part. The company they got the part from gave him the wrong part. So we still don't have a dryer. Oh, so we figured, fine, we'll just grab all our wet clothes and go to the laundromat. While we're at the laundromat, we get the message that the guy's coming back. He needs to get the old part off of the dryer so that they can make sure that when they get the replacement part, it'll be the right one. Well, that suddenly went poof, and we no, honey, you didn't. There's not a live sale night. That's next week. Or am I off? Am I off filter? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Today should have been a sale, shouldn't it? It's been that kind of day. It really has. But I raced back here, left Mike and all the clothes at the laundromat to race back here and let the guy into the house because Gary was sound asleep and we couldn't get a hold of him. The guy goes down, spends 10 minutes tearing the thing apart, gets the part he needs, he leaves, then I go back to get Mike. Ah! Oh my. It's just been a challenge. It just seemed like the whole day was spent racing here, racing there, racing here, racing here. Her baby is camouflage. Oh, well, oh, yeah. Um, that's Aragorn. Now, yeah, and Arwen is way over there. You can't see her. She's on her perch on the end of Mike's little couch. Elrond is trying to go to sleep on Michael's basket of clean laundry that he didn't have time to put away yet. Um, and considering the size of the head, see if I can see it where you'll see it. I have to switch screens here. So there goes Arwen. But that lump, that big blob over there, that is Gimli. He is, they're all 7 months old. He is almost as big as the doctor, and she's 10. He is definitely 2 sizes bigger than Aragorn, who's the closest one in size to him, and he dwarfs Elrond. Elrond won't wrestle with him anymore because he's just too big and heavy. He outweighs everybody else too. Yeah, I'm glad they're calm because they were racing up and down the steps. So who do we have here tonight? Let's see. I know Linda had put in all the way back at 10:30, but Nancy's here. Bonnie's here. Oh, you're cold in these? Yeah, I'm cold too, but not snow cold. Um, and Simi is free. Yeah, Simi is free. I am tired and wired. I actually drank real coffee. And Nora's here. Like, Nora, you said the owl is pink, and if I look at it on StreamYard, it says whatever name I gave the owl, but it just shows a smiley face. But if I flip it over to YouTube, yes, what do you think you're doing? It'll actually show me the little owl. So and Sherry Edwards, hello. Hey, 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 where you think you're going? I'm gonna flip back to there we go because the there. You guys say hello? Look, I gave you guys a brand new collar for you, and your brothers have started to shred it already. Say hello, Arwen. You have this nice lavender collar on. The only little girl is camera shy. Say hi. No, you don't want to say hi. They rarely ever see you except in the distance because you're so camera shy. You and Frodo. So, yeah, I think I have my weeks out. Maybe this was supposed to be a sale night, and I'm sorry. It'll be off kilter again. We'll get it caught up. I know I have to get together with Lisa from Flippin' Crazy because she wants to do um, a collaboration, and we're trying to figure out when and what. I mean, she does a lot of jewelry, and I do a lot of vintage. So, but she also has vintage stuff. She has an antique booth, just space in an antique mall. So we'll work out. We're gonna try to work out the details. And yeah, you happy? You happy? Well, I'm gonna go through a box that you're not allowed to be part of. All right, go on. So I hope everybody though is warm and dry. I'm not quite warm, but old house, and I get cold real easily. Um, Mike was worried I was getting sick again and made me take my temperature. My temperature was um, it was only 96 degrees, and he's like, "That's not normal." I'm like, "I keep telling that's normal for me. That's always been normal for me. It's just always a little low." And it sucks in the wintertime because in the wintertime you don't have that extra 2 degrees to not have body warmth. So I have my drink for tonight. And the thumbnail picture for this was the side of this box that says Nancy's stuff, photos / little stuff. I think it's stuff that when I was supposed going to be moving out before mom got um well before at that point dad had died suddenly and there went moving out. I had to stay take care of mom. And at that point dad's death was the first one and it was sudden from an aneurysm. And from the time he passed away in June, end of June, within 6 months, we had 11 funerals. It was rough. And at the end of all that was also the Christmas that I got custody of 2-year-old became instant mom. So a lot of my stuff was kind of like left in that room in was the Black Hole Challenge room. And this is from when we were packing the room up right before I got hurt. And I'm pretty sure it's lots of odd little bits that were on a shelf in there or in the curio cabinet that's hanging on the wall in there. So we'll see what fun stuff is in there. And this evening, I was going through a magazine and I found something and I thought you guys all might enjoy. There, one is from a website, and this is not a paid advertisement by any means. It's just that I found something that is so absolutely cool for people who like vintage and mid-century modern. We turn you around here, get to where we can see that. Do you see this mid-century modern house? That's a Christmas ornament. Isn't that cool? And it's La Chic Miami Store, and I'll put the name of it here. You could take a look at the picture. While I oh, where can I sit the drink that it's not gonna cause issues? I hate Michael's keyboard. There it is. I just thought that was so cool that I wanted to share that with you. And I looked it up. She has it's her own website, and there are other ornaments on there. There's some great looking cat ones that are cat heads, and I was surprised at there's a gray one that looks like Aragorn and has the gold eyes, which I thought was so cool. But I thought that was different. And not to be outdone, do you see this one? Do you see what that is? Pyrex. It's tiny little Pyrex bowls. She is now that's the ornament, and I looked up her Etsy store. Her name is Twinkle Toast, and I'll spell it in the chat. She has nothing but Pyrex design stuff. She has it's just so, so cool. She has stationery, she has notepads, she has bookmarks, she has earrings, she has ornaments, she's got stickers and magnets and conversion charts as a magnet for on your fridge, all with dozens of different Pyrex patterns on them. And it's such a cool stuff. If anybody likes vintage Pyrex or you know somebody who collects it, it's a fabulous, fabulous Etsy seller to be able to get stuff. And I only found it because I was going through a magazine and found this page and I saw that and I was like, those are Pyrex. I don't know my Pyrex, but I know that those are Pyrex. And so, and it's just it was an ad in oh, I forget which it's a free magazine that I was somebody sent me to use up some of their points, and I think it's HG Network, HGTV, some living or something. Hi, Patty Paws. And so, if you are looking for Pyrex stuff, either as a oh god, I hate this keyboard so much. It's a lighted keyboard, and it drives me nuts because the colors keep changing. It messes up my eyes. Okay, because there's a odd way she spells her name. Also, it's like a this keyboard is like an old um 1920s typewriter. So all the keys sit up and it's really weird to me. It's Michael's keyboard, so but see how it's spelled Twinkle Toast? There's no E between the T and the L. But that just was so, so cool. And she's got so many Pyrex design stuff. And I know this community, I know there's a lot of people out there that like Pyrex, or if you know somebody, and this is I mean, it's I looked at it and I was like, I wish I knew somebody that really liked Pyrex. I'd have my Christmas presents done. But I just thought that was so, so cool that I wanted to share it. And this is not a paid promotion of any kind. It's just something I happened to have found tonight. And I thought, in the vintage community, there's so many people that like mid century modern. that I thought they might get a kick out of. The house she has on that's La Chic Miami. That one also has cocktail glasses, has martinis. It's got the olive with the pick in it. Um, I knew I should have written it down. She had a couple other things besides the cat faces that were vintage inspired, like the house. And it looks like all of her stuff is different ornaments. I did like the generic country singer. Looks an awful lot like Dolly Parton. Can't miss that big blonde hair on. But that was the La Miami Chic, and then with Twinkle Toast with the Pyrex, that's all she has is and she's got the variety of stuff was amazing for the type of Pyrex as well as the different Pyrex patterns. You can have earrings, you can have Christmas ornaments, you can have stationery, stickers, magnets, tote bag, just I mean, I think there's like 4 pages worth in her Etsy shop of merchandise, all different kinds. So I just thought you guys would get a kick out of that. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's find out what the heck is in this. I'm going to take you for a ride here. See, you can do this. Oh my. How many of you have boxes stashed away that you don't know what's in them? Oh, you won't let me go any further over, huh? Well, we'll have to do it this way then. We'll move the box over. Seriously, how many of you have boxes like this? Let's see, we can make it a little higher. Then you can see most of the box. I can't quite get it high enough. I don't think I can, because the cord is too short. I don't have a huge amount of mobility with this thing, especially as I've got a ring light, because he has no lights over here. So I have a ring light standing up. Now I know what this picture is. You guys will get a kick out of this. So one of my favorite Gilbert and Sullivan operettas is Iolanthe, and the entire women's chorus are fairies. Wow. I remember that show. There was glitter everywhere. Lois, me, Diana, and Martha. There, you can't really see it, but there's glitter on the wings. There's glitter in our hair. There's glitter in all our makeup. There was glitter everywhere. And yeah. And we all got told to wear whatever our biggest bling rings were to catch the light in our hand, on our hands too. So that's from that. I don't remember what year, but I know I would have been in my 20s because that's from Rose Valley Chorus and Orchestra. So that was a fun find. And my Anna Russell songbook. If you've never heard Anna Russell, no relation to to Mark Russell, who used to do political satire on PBS, playing a piano. Anna Russell did a lot of musical spoofs on all kinds of things. I got this one because she has How to Write Your Own Gilbert and Sullivan opera. You can look. I particularly like Claude Belly Bunyan, which is a fun song. But you can look her up, Anna Russell, and you can find her on YouTube. If you find her doing the Ring cycle, she spoofs a lot of operas. I'm not a huge opera person. I prefer my stuff to be stuff that I can understand the words. But she explains Wagner's Ring Cycle, which is like honestly like three days of but she pins that sucker down to the Ring of the Nubelungen. I can't even pronounce it. That's the one she's most known for. Um, but man, she winnows that thing down and does the whole thing in 10 minutes and makes it so much funnier than the actual opera. The opera is good. It's just that it's so long because it's like the cycle is like three different operas. Save here first. Hi. Oh, look, my birthday buddy. That's my niece, Becky. That's my mom and dad. We all cracked up over that dress because they did it on it. We didn't know they were going to do them. This was for the church was making a directory. So everybody came in and got photos. And this is a dark purple and a lavender. And nobody knew that it was going to be a black background. So it looks like mom has a bite out of her. That's another family portrait. Well, this is interesting. What's this? I don't know what this is. This is in memoriam for John F. Kennedy, first day of issue. Oh, wow. So it got mailed to somebody, 1964, and they carefully folded it up and framed that part. Well, that's a surprise. I mean, as a first day issue, it's not. I don't think it has much value because of the fact that it's all folded up and creased up. But wow, that's cool. I'll have to be looking that one up. That may be in a live sale. Save the picture frame. Hmm. Where can I put some of this stuff? Ow! That was not good. Tilted the wrong way. Okay, so we'll put that aside for a live sale, probably. Hi, I'm live. I'm using Mike's setup. St. James Junior Prom. My best friend. He's now a priest somewhere. Last I heard, he was in New York somewhere. Look at the shoes. Welcome to the early 80s. 80. If it was their junior prom, then this was 1982. And then I don't know how I got this. This is the same guy, but as a little boy. He must have given me that. And then pictures from when I went to London. Guard at Buckingham Palace. One of the. Oh, okay. This is the memorial along the Strand for William S. Gilbert. And the cool part, you can't really see it, but this character at least is Coco from the Mikado, which is one of the most known of the Gilbert and Sullivan operas. And I'm not sure who this one's supposed to be, but hanging down are all these little puppets, and they're all different characters from the different operettas. This is Sullivan's, Arthur Sullivan. Now, Arthur Sullivan is known for his Gilbert and Sullivan operas. He's also known for writing the music for Onward Christian Soldiers, I think. There is a version he wrote, but he wrote a lot of hymns. He wrote one or two operas. He wanted to create a true English opera to compete with all the stuff that was always in a foreign language. But he was most known for the Gilbert and Sullivan operettas, which went on to be went on to become what gave us Broadway. I've talked about him on one of my other lives that there was uh, a yeoman at the tower. He's a sergeant and he's got a very scarred up face, and that he let me take his picture because I wanted a picture of the uniform. And he let me know that that's how you end up a lot of times in the tower. It's an honorary position for being wounded in duty. And I wrote a whole bunch on the back. I am standing with the sergeant at arms. These guys are tower warders, which are not the same as yeoman tower warders. Tower warders are the men who have been seriously wounded in defense of their country at one time or another, showed outstanding conduct. It is a position of honor to be the keepers of the tower and guarders of the crown jewels. The yeomen now are more ceremonial more than anything else and look after the building as a whole. Because I never knew there was a difference between warders and yeomen of the guard. Hey, you know that guy? That's him. And Todd, I lost track of Todd. I went to Boston for Todd's wedding and lost track of him. Happy birthday. Oh. Let's not. Please don't be. Ah, gonna make me cry. This is a birthday card from mom. 1996. That was the year Dad died. I hope that this new year in your life will be much happier and brings you a few good surprises. Thanks for helping me to cope with life. Much love, Mom. And this is the in memory of at my dad's funeral service. Oh, I knew there could be things that were hard to look at. I knew that was a possibility with that, with the photos. You know, that's the trouble when you have these kind of boxes. You just you never know what's in them. I knew somebody when I was in college, and anytime it got to be the holidays, oh wow, this thing's all dusty. Um, when it got to the holidays, she would just take her mom would just take everything that was on the dining room table, shove it into a box, put the year in the box, and it was on a shelf in the basement. And she never went back through any of them. So Christine finally, she was my roommate for a year in college. She finally got her mom to sit down with her and start going through them. And they went through the oldest one first. They found an envelope, a bank envelope that had $200 in it that her mother had been frantic that Christmas because she couldn't find the money that was for the Christmas presents. Well, it was in the box. When she put it at the table for Thanksgiving dinner, everything went in there and it was in there. Old bills were in there. Um, they found two Christmas presents. Hey, vintage people. Hello, sweetie. Um, they found old photos of family members. They found the spare set of keys to a car that they no longer had. So, so it's good to go through these boxes now and then. That's different guy because by then I was dating Mike's friend from school, Ed, and that is look at that prom dress, that fake Victorian moonbeam chiffon. That's 83, and then my prom was 84. Oh, this picture's gotten faded. You can't see it that well. So this is the oldest granddaughter. I was 10 when Sarah was born, and I turned 11 a month later. That's her next sister down, Jennifer. I drew ET. This whole thing was wrapped in brown paper, and I drew ET's full body. He's got the heart and head's up here. And they swore when they showed up it was a gift for them. It actually was a collapsible workbench, a portable workbench for my brother-in-law. These were two of the teachers at Young People's Theater Workshop, and that's me. That's me. I was I was 18 and I did Pirates of Penzance, and mom took my picture in costume. Yeah, I wish I was that thin. That's been a long time ago. So I don't know if I will be keeping this frame. It's got some scratches, and I don't know the way it darkened up. I don't think that'll clean up. You kind of see that it had a thing to make it look like a peacock. I think that frame might be shot, but I'll let's see what else we got. Oh, I remember making this. It's a county cross stitch for an owl. Another picture underneath Becky. Let's put the pictures together. Any more pictures? What do we got? Oh, more pictures. More pictures. Hello, Kathy. Oh, wow, Jimmy. Hey, I still have that bat shirt. I found it again, was going to put it on eBay, and then one of the cats laid on it and got hair all over it. Oh, this is my friend Mike's graduation. That was in 1983. They graduated the year before me. All these pictures of Mike. I miss him. Ah, well, there's a better picture with the bat. You see the giant bat. There's the face. Still a cool shirt. Best cat I ever earned. That's Cosette. He was a big boy. Somebody assured us it was a little girl, but you get a cat that actually answers to its name and comes when you call it, you leave it whatever name you called it. All right, let's see what this one is. So, are there any bets on what you think will? I know the chat's like so quiet. Oh, pretty. I can see why I kept that. That's gorgeous. Oh, it's from Kaori. So, when I was in 5th grade, they used to do pen pal things through school, and that got me started on having pen pals. Um, and then within the pen paling community, they make these things called friendship books. And they'll have a pretty picture on the front, and it goes through the person who it's for, their name and address is on the front page of it, and the person who made it, their name's usually on there somewhere. And then you go through and um, everyone that wants more pen pals will put their name and address and what their interests are, and then you would read through it and see. And that's how I got a couple of pen pals from Japan, and Kaori was one of them. And that is gorgeous. I lost track of her once she got married, and then the kids. Now, this one is probably one, since it's written in Japanese, is probably one that was from my Aunt Michiko. And to my grandparents. I know, I miss having a pen pal too, and I have all that stationery. This is cool. That's an actual little fan stuck to that. Oh, so that's how to spell it. This is my Aunt Michiko's maiden name. It's Inouye. I know how to pronounce it, but I never knew how to spell it. Inoue. Yomiko is one of her nieces. I think Yoshi is her sister. It's getting to where I can't ask her very much because she's starting to have real problems with her memory. Toshio, Yoshi, Yumiko, and Narka. So that's awesome. They used to send Christmas cards and stuff to my grandparents. So actually, you know what I need to do? I need to take, where's the one with the last name? I need to keep this one separate so that I can add that to the family tree because I could never put Aunt Michiko's name, maiden name in because I didn't know how to spell it. Oh, Nora, I'll be your pen pal. I miss having pen pals. Now, you know what mail I send now is I send mail to Boy Scouts, and it's so funny because come on, get back in there without ripping the thing. It's the Kabuki guy. He doesn't want to go back in there. He's just a little too big, and he's ripping the old paper. Well, fine. Rip the paper. You're not all going to stay in there anyway. But I send postcards to the boys. Steve Kraus, huh? Old negatives. Are the pictures in here? No, it's just a bunch of old negatives. Of who? Well, does anybody know where you can send negatives uh, to get them made? Okay, these are some of these I'm pretty sure I know because that one looked like Sue. That's definitely my sister-in-law. Oh, the Pekingese I grew up with. There's pictures of Susie. Oh, wow. Where'll Sue find him? Steve passed away from COVID a year ago. And oh, I need to get these copied. Sue will be so surprised. Yeah, I need to find a place where you can get old negatives done. And I found I have three now of those Instamatic cameras where you would take it and then you take the whole camera and you take it to like the CVS or the Walgreens and they don't do camera film anymore. So I'm having a hard time there. Well, look at this old Easter one. It's a little discolored though. Been out in the sunlight too much. Yeah, that's all faded from the sun. I might be able to save these flowers and put them in an ephemera pack, but the rest of it's pretty shot. I don't think I could save the rest of it. Embroidery flower. Oh, apparently I was going to make something that said "Dare to Dream." Well, that didn't happen. Oh, that's a cool scrap of fabric. Hey, it's the same size, isn't it? Maybe I was going to make a small pillow with this as the backing. You know. You know, when you keep these things for so long, you don't remember. This is a rubbing from when I was in London. They have they don't let you rub the tombs anymore in the cathedrals, but they usually have brass plates that are copies, and you can do a rubbing with those. Walgreens. Oh, I will try Walgreens and see. All right, this is nice. I don't want this to get squished. Oh, my Robin Hood book. This poor thing is falling apart. I've read this so many times. It is falling apart. I don't even know how old it is because it's missing. Um, it's missing the inside of the front cover. Oh wait, there it is. It's in here. Copyright 1912. Those of you who might remember, I had said that my great uncle was giving me books from when he was a kid, and this was one of the ones he gave me. This was his copy of. Now, my mom was born in 1929, and he was born 10 or 11 years before that, and this is from 1912. But it is, it has been very well loved, very well loved. So that'll stay with me. Oh, our graduation pictures. Michael, Daria. These are the only two kids in the neighborhood when I was growing up. There was literally just the three of us. It was fun. I mean, we stuck together a lot, and then the way this pinhead left caused a rift between Daria and I for a long time. So we're still in touch, but we're not as close as we had been because we just have such vastly different interests. Mike was kind of the glue that held us together. A Webster's Handy Condensed Dictionary. If you read old books like I do, it helps to have an old dictionary. This one's from 1919, revised in 1925. Because when you read books that are pre 1940 and you come across some words, and sometimes just a small dictionary, you can't find some of the more archaic kind of words. Oh, Royal Gallery of Silver. Okay. See if I can get the original receipt for Macy's. Ooh, Macy's in 1998, huh? What are you? Oh, look at that. It's a pair of picture frames. Oh, it's not supposed to be a pair of picture frames though. And where's your back? Okay, so it's supposed to be a clock and a picture frame, but it's two picture frames. Just don't have a back for that one. I like those. Those are nice. Well, I think somebody re-gifted me something maybe, or it was a return that got put out on the shelf. All I know is I like them. Get back in the box though. That was not something I expected. So are you taking suggestions yet of what you think we're gonna find? Oh, stuff's so dusty. My favorite puzzle. One of my absolute favorite puzzles. I had this in a frame for the longest time. I wonder. Yeah, it's still partly together. Yeah, but I had this in a lucite frame. That is one of my favorite puzzles. Find somewhere safe to sit that while we do this, so no kittens get to it. Oh, I wondered where this went. So there's three little flowers down in that glass. Don't know who made it. Has a nice little pontal. I have the matching vase. It had been a wedding present to my mom and dad from somebody, and there's a matching vase that goes with it. So now I know where this went. I didn't know. I've been looking all over for that. Genuine diamond, onyx, and 14 karat gold filled, but no idea. Well, that does not need to go back in there then. Get rid of that. Yep, that's the picture from their prom. Picture of my sister's wedding. Oh heavens! I just had dinner with her because she lives out on the West Coast now. Not sure where Diane is. But these are pictures from, oh, I gotta put that on Facebook and embarrass a few people. More pictures though. My goodness. I'll find a safe place to put you. I'll put you back here. This is really old. Um, I kept it. I didn't care that I painted the top gold because it was kind of getting rusty, and so I hit the gold paint on it. But it's an ashtray, but I've never ever seen one like it anywhere else. It's absolutely definitely an ashtray top. I've never saw anything like this. I got this from the house in Norwood that was my great grandparents' house. There we go. That's a little bit. When I would light candles in my room, I'd just drop the matches down in here because it kept it safe. Yeah, I've wanted to learn bookbinding too, but never took the time. Oh, yep, it's this thing. I hated that book. Intro to Literature. When I was putting myself through college, it's a book on the it's a thing, the exam on the Great Gatsby. I hated that book. It was awful. Got an A minus. Very good essay, thoughtful and well written. References to the text are effective. He just didn't like whatever I put there. Just wrote no. So I guess that's what gave me the minus. So I think that can go. Oh, the dust in here. Oh my. Well, all the stretches out of that. But it's got a cool rainbow belt buckle. The belt buckle's still good. Welcome to the 80s. When Mork for Mork and rainbows were oh so popular, but there's no stretch left to this. So I don't know that. Oh, I guess you could still use it as a strap or something. But that was a belt. Yeah, I think that's going to have to go into the. I think that belt's going to have to go into an upcoming sale of stuff for sewing and crafting. Oh, this. Okay, so once the movie Grease came out, everybody was, well, even in the 80s, people were putting long, narrow strips of lace and ribbons on their ponytails or in their hair. I was not immune to that. And this had been a belt. That is not going around this waist anymore. Not anymore. I see fairies. Ooh. Vintage Christmas. That's staying with me. Sorry, guys. Oh, my curling iron. My oh so dangerous to use curling iron. See how thin this is? Look at my finger is bigger than this thing. I use this for decades to make really tight little ringlets. It's still got the cloth covered wire. This thing gets so hot. If you do it on wet hair, you will see the steam come up off your hair. Oh, wow. I wondered what happened to this sucker. It got packed away. All right. I see holiday stuff. Let's find out what's in this one. Oh, mini books. Little teeny tiny mini books. Poems of Robert Browning. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I love tiny little books like these. The Little Leather Library Corporation. Do we have it? I don't see it. Enoch Arden by Tennyson. Printing's a little off on that one. Yeah, these are fragile as can be. No date inside them, though. Darn. Oh, I'd love to know how old these are. But, oh, glue binding. Probably horse glue, which is very, very fragile. Hey, Linda's back. The Ancient Mariner by Coleridge. 50 Best Poems of England. Yeah, these you better take care of. I'd be afraid to open it up flat because I'd be afraid the leather would crack. But I absolutely love little bitty books like this. Poems of Robert Burns. 50 Best Poems of America. Who's in this one? Oh, Jesus, that's tiny. Uh, Publisher acknowledges something. Okay, so I see Oliver Wendell Holmes, somebody named Vaughn Moody. I don't know him. Robert Louis Stevenson, Walt Whitman, of course. A lot of teeny tiny print for all of the permissions to use. Longfellow, Thoreau, Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman was from my area, and I live not far from the Walt Whitman Bridge. Will of the Mill by Stevenson, and The Happy Prince by Wilde. That's Oscar Wilde. So, teeny, teeny, teeny little fragile books. I love little miniature books. I have a small, no pun intended, I do have a small collection of them because they're not easy to find. They really aren't. And then, like, you can find some of these small little leather bound sets, but to find actual printed books that are that tiny doesn't happen that often. Okay, now Halloween Nightlight, never been used. What are you? Oh, more little teeny tiny fairies. More. Her wings are upside down. Her wings are upside down. Her wings should be the other way around. Someone does not know they're fairies because they usually have insect wings and those are upside down. But she's cute. She is cute. So, Linda, we have been going through a box from the Black Hole Challenge room to see what we can see. What did I pack away? Oh, cute. You know, these would be good for. These would be great. They're just made in China. They're little early resin because they're not. I think they're like the early resin isn't as heavy as some of the stuff you get now because like the early resin is more fragile because I think they use plastic because they're not that heavy at all. Like, most resin has real weight to it. I think these would be really cute to stick them in a plant, but I don't have any house plants left except the Christmas cactus, which I'm trying desperately to keep away from these five little gremlins. Oh, look at her with the big flower. Look at her. She cute. These would be good in like an assemblage for spring. Because I have lots of fairies. And I don't need all of them. So some of these more modern ones, it might be showing up at a sale sometime soon. I would love to have time to make assemblages, but everything here is there's so much stuff and there's so little room because there's too much. Now I see Christmas. I see Christmas. Okay, so we've got a cute little tin with different Santas. So that's cool. I can see why I kept that. Bayberry scented. Well, it doesn't smell like bayberry inside. Guess it had candles in it or a candle. But look, I didn't know I had one of these. Oh, he's a vintage one. How do you know who made them? Misty would know, but I don't know. Should I plug him in? Should we? Oh, okay. Empire Plastic, 19, 1968. Should I plug it in? Should we see if it works? Should we? What do you think? Should I plug it in? Now, I think the bag it's in is pretty shot, so we're gonna throw the bag out. Oh, hello, hello! I see other cool stuff down in there. Have to stand up. I can't reach the plug. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's plug him in and see if he lights up. No, no light. Oh, bummer, no light. I was hoping. Oh, knocking stuff on Michael's over. Oh, bummer. How do you get that out of there? Hey, does anybody know how you get them out of there? I mean, I could put a new bulb in him if I could figure out how to get that off. I don't want to knock that over. I love that he's still got his little UL little sticker thing for indoor use only. But I don't see how this comes off so that I could get the light out of there and put a new bulb in. I don't want to force it because I don't want to break it. Does anybody else have any of these that they know how to do that? I mean, that's cool. 1968. He's got a little paint loss there, a little bit down here, but that's cool. He's got some smoosh on his eye. I'll have to clean him off. Now, if I could just find a snowman one, that would be awesome. But I know I don't have a snowman one. I kind of thought I might have one of these somewhere. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, hello. All right. Do you not see what I don't see? I don't see a light bulb in there. He has no light bulb. I mean, come on. Whose hand? Nobody's hand is fitting in that hole. How did they how did they get the light bulb out? There's no light bulb. Well, don't that beat all? That's cheating. That's absolutely cheating to not have the light bulb in there. That's absolutely cheating. This chat is so quiet tonight. I don't know if are we still on? There we still on. There we go. 17 watching and 17 thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Why is my chat not moved? There we go. There we go. I had to, on the YouTube, I had to refresh it. So yeah, I don't get that. How this sucker, I mean, it moves, it turns, but it doesn't feel like there's any spot where, like, I expected there to be some kind of clip, but Misty will know. Misty has a couple of these things, so I guess I'll be sending a photo to Misty, and maybe Misty can tell me, how do you get this sucker to come out so you can put a new light bulb in the sucker? Because somebody got it off at some point to take the light bulb out. Darn. And here I thought I could have a nice Christmas decoration because there is no way we are having a tree this year. No possible way whatsoever. Because with these kittens, there is no way. I wondered where this went. I was worried about this. Well, that's cool, Marianne. So this unscrews. I did try pinching the white part together. It didn't seem to want to move. This is off the collar of a World War I uniform. At least that's what I got told. And I have to double check that because if it's not off of Pop Pops, then it's off of my great great grandfather's Civil War uniform. So I have that one. And then this one, I don't know what that one's for. It has a symbol on it. And I don't remember if this is the one from my dad or if this is the one from my brother Steve. I think this is one from my dad and might have been from his father. Let me see the. Yeah, it's not gonna. So I'll have to look that one up. These should be in my china closet where I have some of the other stuff. Oh, fun. Metal buttons. I love metal buttons. Hey, that one's cool. Got a lion's head on it. What's it say? It says something. Wanamaker. What? It says Wanamaker stores. What the heck is that? Well, there's the back piece to it. Back piece came off. How on earth did I get a Wanamaker stores button? That would be like from way old. When if you worked there, you had a blazer you had to wear back in what the 20s, the 30s, or 40s, maybe. Well, let's stash that with my other buttons. Now I knew these were in here, and I've never hung them up. Oh, look at these cuties! Little fold out little, and then my stone guy. This is some kind of stone. Little bitty owl. I don't even. I think I got him on a vacation when I was a kid, but I've had him forever. But I knew these were in here, and I never hung them up. And I really should. If I it was one of the last Christmas presents Mom gave me. Oh, I'll try that, Marianne. I'll try it very carefully with a flathead screwdriver because I have some small flathead screwdrivers. Well, you can tell this was sitting out because it's all dusty. But oh shoot, is that? Oh, good. For a second there was a stripe that I thought was inside. But you have this one. I still have the tag on it. It's like the last Christmas my mom was alive. Um, Interior accents is from Joanne Fabrics. What? Isn't it cute? They're little baby uh, frost fairies. And it's a set of 4 of them. Aren't they adorable? So I think it's time. I think it's past time for them to, there's ribbon out here, to be hung up for the holiday. And I will take them downstairs. Yeah, aren't they so adorable? I will take these guys downstairs. I'll take the corners and stuff off. I will save these though, so that I can put them back on when I store them, because they'll only be up for the winter. But downstairs in our hallway, we have, and that's everything out of here. And oh, circus ride. There we go. So I would say that a third of what's going in there is not going back in there because the photos aren't going to go back in there. I'll find somewhere for Santa to stay out since we can't have a tree because of the kittens. And don't really have a spot. Mike wanted to put out one of these little ones, but these guys would tear it apart. Um, and the books will go somewhere else. And the photos actually have a box that's all the photos that as I've been finding them, I've been putting them in that box. They're all in one place. So I can set them in with them. So probably only about a third of this box would end up going back in this box. So I don't think that's bad. I think I basically just about everything has somewhere else it could be with things similar to it. Might just end up with a totally empty box. Because I have a box right there that Arwen likes to sleep on that I started filling with holiday stuff that I found in this room when I was clearing the top of the cedar chest. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I love Amy Brown's fairies. There's Amy Brown has 2 fairy books. I have the first one. I've never found the second one, but she has 2. They're all about her artwork. But yeah, I have a couple of Amy Brown fairies. I think they're pretty cool. Um, but thank you for it's all the dust. I mean, because all this stuff was dusty when it got put away, so it's all got to get cleaned up before it goes into anything anyway. Um, but that box is only half full of holiday stuff. So these smaller things like the tin and all that, the Santa I don't think will fit in there, and I know the pictures won't. But the other smaller holiday things we could go into that box, and then that box could end up being stored in the attic with the other in the attic hallway closet with the other holiday stuff of mine. So that would clear that all out. So I think we did great because really this box is going to stay empty, and I could, which would be awesome. There's a couple things I had to make up my mind about that box of little fairies. Um, Like Box of Little Fairies, the John F. Kennedy thing certainly is going to end up probably in a live sale. Um, the little books should, and the Robin Hood should be over in my room. Um, Picture frames. I'll have to stash them somewhere. But other than that, I think we did good. I think we did good. We found some cool stuff and threw out one or two things. That's a plus. And instead of it all just being a mismatch, then it'll all be like with like, and that'll be great. So yeah, we did great. So here's your challenge for the weekend. If you have a box like this that you've been, I mean, my house is full of boxes that I hadn't gotten to, but very stuff. I mean, we've been going through so many boxes that weren't actually my own stuff. That this was one of those ones where I just started taking things that were sitting on the shelf and sitting on the end table in that room and just shoved it in the box. Didn't bother to sort or deal with any of it. Now I can deal with all of it and put it where it should be, that it actually has a place for it. Like the photos, there's a place for it. Some of those prom pictures, I have multiples of the same picture. I don't need multiples of those same pictures. So I could actually get rid of some of them and keep the best ones, for my memories. But, I know, like, okay, like I framed this one, so I know that is really whitening it out. Oh, dim this down. No. There you go. Now you can see the blue. So now you can see the colors a little better. But that's actually at Daria's house. But this was like the best one. And there's other ones where we're either one of us is smiling and the other isn't, one's eyes is closed, the other isn't, or so I could get rid of all of those and just keep the good ones. I've done that with quite a few things of photos. When I did the kitchen cabinet underneath the hutch downstairs in the kitchen, there is a box that's this big, square. So it's about, I think it's probably about 14 inches square and 6 inches deep. And it is completely filled with photographs that I found mom had just kept tucking them on that one end of the hutch. And I went through and she would get duplicates of because the duplicate ones she'd often hand out to whoever was in them, or so there were blurry ones from when she gave Michael the camera. Um, there were ones from the Philadelphia Flower Show that the stuff was so far away that the flash didn't reach. So they were, you saw whatever was right up close, but everything else was darkness. I was tossing, so I tossed so many. I just made a stack because the trash can was on the other side of the room. So I just made a stack on the end of the table and I threw away a pile that was easily 8 or 9 inches high of photos that were useless. They were either blurry, they were short, mom cut somebody's head off, or they were stuff I couldn't even identify, or stuff that didn't matter, or they were just duplicates that we did not need, and just a ton of them. Your son and I are doing a three-way bedroom move so you can have a craft sewing room. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. See, I don't have anywhere. Like when mom was alive, her sewing machine was in the playroom, but all of her sewing, she used the dining room table to cut everything out because for her, she was 5'4". It was the perfect height, and it's huge because it's a Civil War era set, massive table. And so she'd always be back and forth, and she had room to do it. I used to have a table in the basement, but when we had to take the drains, we used to have French drains all around the property. So all of the downspouts for the rain went directly into the sewer line. Now that's not legal anymore. So we had to take them all out, and now it drains all over around the house. And now we have a wet basement, and it gets damp down there. So I can't do anything down there anymore because the mold just gets to me. So I don't have anywhere, and then moving everything in, I don't have anywhere left. Don't have anywhere left. So I can't wait. That's the one thing with having the Black Hole Challenge Room. If we get that, it'll be all set up for me to be able to do YouTube, do eBay, do Etsy. The only thing I haven't figured out is how to have enough space in there to put my 1940s sewing machine. But like Mike said, that wouldn't be a problem if we get the playroom set up the way we want. We could and this was his idea because he sews clothes. I don't know how to sew clothes. He said then we could set up his sewing machine, my sewing machine, and the serger would all be out there, and we'd have somewhere that I could put a table and turn that into where we do any kind of crafts or sewing. We'd still use the dining room table to cut stuff out just because it's perfect size. It's huge. And when there's mats and stuff that protect the table that mom had always used, and they're still out there on the table. So his plan is that we will actually have somewhere to do this stuff. Now comes the fun part. He has these plans, but then the house across the street, the original Wetherill homestead, is up for sale. And he and his boyfriend want to know how much. This could get real interesting real fast. But I mean, that house has been very well cared for. And while it's older than mine, it was built so well. You can heat every bedroom in the place, and the living room, and the dining room. They all have fireplaces in them. You can heat that entire house except the kitchen with the fireplaces. I know. I used to help clean them. I used to help carry wood up to them when it was Mrs. Roberts and Miss Wilson um, and Clarence Roberts, who was Mrs. Roberts' brother-in-law, when they all were still alive when I was growing up. So yeah, I know how well you could heat that house just with those fireplaces. Um, she had put her husband Clarence when uh, ceiling fans first came out, or her brother-in-law Clarence um, had when ceiling fans came out. There was a big ceiling fan on the landing at the top of the steps on the second floor, and that landing is so big. She had her baby grand piano up on that landing, but that would just circulate all winter long, and except when it was like the worst of the cold, you could all through the fall heat the place with fireplaces. So he's very interested in in the house across the street. But I would be too if I had the money. I would seriously consider going, hey, sell this as is and take that one. But it still would be a Wetherill house. It'd be the grandparent and great grandparent house to this one. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. But I hope you had fun tonight. I know this didn't go very long, and the chat's been surprisingly quiet. I think people are still alive there. Oh, the chair is getting wobbly. This chair is not meant to be a desk chair, and one of the legs is getting a little wobbly. So there's the mouse. I kind of buried the mouse. So anyway, I hope everybody had fun. And how many? It says 19 are still watching, and 19 thumbs up. Nice, thank you. Um, Now, like I said, I think I got the days off a little bit that it should have been a sale tonight. Oops. Because they had been alternating, but it is December, so I want to try to get everything set up, straightened out, and that's okay, Kathy. We all need to get clean at some point. And anyway, I want to try to have a sale the next 3 Thursdays. Plus, I've got to get together with Lisa from Flippin' Crazy and see when we're doing a sale together. It's kind of hard on her to be up as late, so it may be me on her channel. But I'd also like to have her on mine so you guys can see her and and maybe get Marianne one of these nights. I see she's here. I see she's here tonight. All in the Attic Treasures. Oh, Nora. I know I haven't invoiced you for the book. The book is downstairs. I was all set to try to get stuff mailed out this afternoon, but then everything blew up with the car and all the running back and forth that ended up happening because I don't normally do this, but I know that you want that for Christmas, and I also know you're good for it. Um, that I was going to just drop it in the mail and come home and invoice. That didn't happen. So you will absolutely, you and Marianne, your packages are packed. I need to get the weight and the shipping, so you will have your invoices tomorrow. And who else did I pack? Oh, she's somebody new, so I'm not going to say her name because first off, I haven't seen her in the chat, and I'm not sure if that sale's going to work anyway. I had to track down her information from somebody else. That does happen occasionally. The sellers all actually have a chat, and we share a Google document so that we can try to find people who come in and want to buy stuff during a live sale, uh, and then they forget to email us. So sometimes we have to track down names and stuff. So, oh, awesome, good, Marianne. I will email because I would love to have you on. Your channel's just starting out. We need to get you more notice. Get you onto mine. Mine's not that big, but start with me, and then it'll be like me. As I started doing stuff with other smaller channels, and then eventually it got noticed by Trisha, and then Trisha had me on, and then I got hurt, and then I stopped being on too many. Trisha's had me back, which is great. I hear Skunky Junk is back. He took a hiatus for a while for his health, and yes, Marilyn, you have quite a few with me as well. Do I have viewers boxed? What the heck? Frodo? You poor baby. You okay? So, okay, so the dryer didn't work, right? So I had done a load of towels. I have towels draped over every radiator in the house I could get to, including bathroom there, the hallway out there, and Michael's radiator over here. So I've got 2 towels on each of these radiators, including the 2 radiators, and 1 radiator in the kitchen, 1 in the playroom, and 1 in the downstairs hallway. Those are all the radiators I could get to. So there's 2 bath towels on each one. He was sleeping on it, and he just rolled right off the radiator. You poor baby. They are all so quiet right now. They're all sleeping. Yes, I see you looking at me. You okay? Oh, big yawn. They had the zoomies early. Oh, we got to get rid of that. We're going to block you. Take care of that one. Oh, I should have reported him first before I blocked him. Oh well. But yeah, they were just so wired that at 9 o'clock tonight they were racing up and down the staircase and out to the kitchen and then back up here. And I was like, you know what? I had gotten the light set up and everything else. So I didn't want them in here. So I just came in here with a cup of tea and I didn't want them to knock it over. And I just shut Michael's door because this door actually latches. And I shut it tight so they couldn't get in. And I spent an hour doing stress relief, which for me is playing PlayStation or the Xbox. He has God of War Ragnarok, and so I get to beat people up with swords and some really weird um, really cool looking axe, but some really weird kind of swords that are chained together. Oh, good. You two got him. Thank you. I have been lucky so far that I've not had too much of that nonsense on my channel. But I wonder how long that's going to last because um, a lot of the larger sellers are going and doing stuff on Whatnot, and so they're not doing as many sales on YouTube, which is kind of opening it up for us smaller ones. I looked at Whatnot and I decided that I can't keep up. I have not, because of my health, remembered. Bleh, can't talk right. Because of my health, I have not kept up with what I was doing. So I just don't think it would be smart for me to start selling on yet another platform. This house and my health is just not organized enough. And those of you who have, bless your heart, stuck with me and know that I still have a list that I have all your stuff. Some stuff, now I have to admit, there's some stuff like Debbie Vitale has been extremely patient with me. I still am trying to find where the hell Mike tucked away her bag of snowmen, or not snowmen, her bag of Santas that she wanted from last year. And some of you know because I've emailed you, hey, I found, and you had wanted this, and here's the date you wanted it at this sale. If you want to go check it out and make sure you still want it. Because Michael put stuff in safe places, and I can't always find them. Like I found a box of stuff that was from Christmas sale a year ago that I couldn't friggin' find. And he did it because like, I had the relapse with my spine and he was trying to clean things up to make it easier for me to move around, but then he did it to where I was packing and he tried to organize what shipping boxes were, and this box was full of that Christmas stuff, and it was underneath a stack of empty boxes that were for shipping. So as I worked my way down those boxes, then I go, wait a minute, this has some weight to it. What's in this box? And it was all this stuff I've been going nuts for months, going, where the hell did it go? Not well. I get it. He meant well. I was walking with a walker at that point. Packing was extremely difficult because I couldn't move that well. And so he was trying to be helpful, but he wasn't keeping it organized enough that, hey, okay, if this is all the stuff that has sold, this needs to go on this side. And then if this is empty boxes and shipping supplies, this should go on this side. Instead, they all ended up in one big pile. But he tried. Yeah, Whatnot is fast paced, and my eBay store is not that full. My Etsy store is definitely not full. Part of the problem with that one is that without having the dryer, I can't put any of the vintage clothing up because I don't have a way to wash and dry it here. Because you've got to be right there to get it right out of the dryer right away, or you end up with it all wrinkled and stuff. And I don't really have anywhere to iron anything at the moment. Um, and then some stuff is just I just don't have the space to do any sewing. There is a laundry basket right there. You can just see the edge of it. It is full of stuff that needs to get sewn to go on that. Stuffed toys, aprons, boxer shorts with a golfing theme. They're all panels and easy, but um, I just don't have anywhere to do it. So, and that's the kind of stuff that went into my Etsy shop. So, so I can't do it there either. So if I can't keep up with all of that, I don't want to add another selling platform. I mean, I know some people go, "Oh, but the money." I'm like, I'm nowhere. Yes, I need money, but at the same time, it's like it's just to me feels like it's going to sink me deeper. And you guys see all the smiles. You don't see how frustrated I get when you guys aren't watching me. That I am just when I can't find the stuff that I have on this list that I know I should have. And it has cost me money not being able to get stuff out in a timely manner simply because of the spine. So far we've had good days. I go back and I see the spine doctor on December 13th, and we'll see how things go. That's when I'm due to get another injection in my knee to put more the bones rub in my right knee, and there's a gel and stuff that they put in, so it basically then you have a lubricant in there, and your bones aren't rubbing again. Um, so I've found that I'm having more and more trouble getting up and down stairs. If I have to come up and down any set of stairs more than 3 times in a day, it's now to the point where then it starts hurting, and then it'll sometimes buckle on me and start rubbing bone on bone. So it's getting due for that next shot. I'm about to sneeze again. And with the guy here for the basement, I have been up and down the basement steps 3 times each way, and up and down here 3 times each way, and coming back up here after taking the trash out from up here. Trying to come back up here, my knee buckled on the way up the stairs. But luckily, it didn't buckle when I was carrying this box and the ring light up the steps. But, it'll get better because I'm down another 5 pounds. Yay! I'm down another 5 pounds. So it's working. I'm being more careful of. My biggest problem isn't necessarily what I eat; is that I don't move. I don't move enough. So with trying to leash train Gimli, and as long as I make sure I get him outside at least once a day, he stops trying to dash for the door and bolt and go out. So he's making sure that I get out and walk a little bit. Right now, we walk about 3 houses, and then the cars going down the street scare him so much he wants to be picked up. And then I make a point of walking to the corner, and then I'll walk to the other corner, and then we'll come home. And by then, my knee is going, hello, but it's still something. It's not a cortisone. Cortisone's what I get in my spine. It's actually, um, it's just literally, there's no like steroid to it or anything like that. It's literally just a special type of gel for in between the joint. And apparently, it's something new that's only been out on the market for about 3 years now. Can't remember what it's called, but it's been great. It's been great. Um, Now the ligament, I do still have, like, where they think it's the, because I still have to have that MRI of the knee, 'cause that stuff was supposed to happen, and then I had a relapse with my spine, and I had to get that all calmed down before I could deal with all that. So, yeah, any activity is good, and I've been, because I got lazy when I had the relapse, and I wasn't, well, it's not just being lazy, it's that they were also painful to do, but I wasn't doing all of the physical therapy stretches because I couldn't, and so, I'm back to doing them again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, they don't, I'm only 57, so they wanna put off me having a knee replacement for as long as they can, so this stuff is a preventative to try to help slow down the degrading of the bone rubbing on bone, uh, so because eventually, yeah, eventually that knee is gonna have to be replaced, and quite possibly the left hip because after the mini stroke, that left side doesn't like to hold its muscle mass, and that was part of the problem of when I fell a year and a half ago, the way I twisted and landed on the left hip, and I dislocated my own hip, and that's when I pinched the 2 nerves in my spine. Um, we did get that one out, but the other one is just not coming out. It's always gonna be there. Uh, but they Yeah, we already tried shoe inserts, and um, they didn't help much. They really didn't help much. But the hip, it's because of the fact that it can't hold the muscle mass, that's why it dislocated, because it doesn't keep the strength on this side. So I'm also back to using my I had to backtrack from the 5 pound weights down to the 2 pound weights again. Um, but I'm using them again every day too. 2 pound weights to, do stuff like this and this. People don't think, like, they always have you doing this one where your hand is this way with the weight, but if you do it where you're holding the weight this way and have your arms out there, that, you know what that does? That does under here, and I wanna get rid of that turkey waddle thing that all those fat chicks get. Oh, yours is all on your right? Yeah, mine's all on my left. Sometimes it shows when I smile because the smile's a little cockeyed, but other than that, I'm just happy I'm not drooling all over myself because I had a hell of a time. I was only 50 and I had a hell of a time. The hospital didn't take me seriously. I was at the hospital nearest to me and they just assumed I had taken drugs and they never even took me to the back. And at that point, I'm getting a migraine and I'm seeing spot bursts in my vision. I can't talk right, and nobody they took my blood pressure and it was through the roof, and they're still leaving me sit in the waiting room. And I finally was like, "Get me out of here and take me to a different hospital." So my brother, we left, and my brother took me up to Ridley Park, up to Taylor Hospital, and while they put me right in the back, they still kept trying to say, "Well, you had to have taken something," all because I live in Chester. You assholes. Here I am with a stroke. Pain is right here. It's hot to the touch. It's red. You can tell there's something there. And they're still asking me if I had to have taken some kind of drug because I'm too young. At 50, you're too young to have a stroke. I reported the jerk to the hospital board because that's nonsense. Anybody can have a stroke at any age. And so I was lucky because, like, there was a sudden sharp pain here, and then there was something right up here that burst, and it was weird. You could feel this warmth just expand, and something up there burst, and I was extremely lucky that the only thing I still have wrong is it's very difficult to keep muscle mass on that side and keep my strength. The inside of my mouth is numb. I don't feel anything inside there. And at the time, like, this side of my mouth was kind of frozen. You know what the therapy was? Chewing gum. Chew gum on the side that's affected. I chewed gum every friggin' day, several times a day for months, and I think it's the only reason I got as much mobility back in my face. And then I still had to concentrate to do it, but the exercises were the same exercises they do for piano players, is to be able to move the fingers independently, and I'm not that good at it. I could do it that way, but yeah, I really had to struggle to do that, and I had to focus on it to do it. But there was a lot of this. They make you do this a lot, and because it tightens all the ligaments, you have to overstretch. See, so you're curving your fingers up. You do that a lot too. That was a lot of the therapy I had, and the only reason I got therapy because the ER um, the ER finally put down possible stroke because I argued so much on my medical records, instead of actually, like, treating me properly. Possible stroke or possible drug related. That's on my medical record. And I said, take my blood. Take my blood. Screen it. You won't find a damn thing for drugs. And and these guys were just such jerks, all because of the town I live in. This county seems to think that anybody from this town, they're all drug addicts hiding behind every tree. And that is absolutely not. So, if you write, I have a couple of content creators. Oh, okay. That would be cool. Um, but yeah, it was so frustrating at the time. But my other nephew, my nephew Jason, is a sports therapist, and so he was uh, at school for physical therapy for sports medicine, and his that's what his degree is in. And so I called him up, and I flat out asked him, going, "Okay, you're just finishing up school for this. Tell me what are the therapies?" So he got together with me and he told me all of what the newest, latest therapies were that they were teaching me. And and he's the one that told me about the gum. Chewing the gum is actually was one of the things they were being taught, currently then being taught about 7 years ago, was for the facial muscles. Because when you chew, it's more than just your teeth. It's everything in the cheek area. All those muscles, all the muscles here and here, they're all getting a workout. So that's how I found out about chewing the gum and the finger one. So had to do it through other means. So oh, I hope you guys had fun tonight. Um, who else is on tonight? I know Steph sells stuff by the seashore, has not been on. She's been quite sick, the poor thing. Uh, so she and Helen, I don't think, are live tonight. I'm checking to see if there's anybody in our community who's live, and I'm just seeing lots of lives of odd music that are up, and nobody from the reselling community is live right now, except Bargain Barons. But they've been kind of cheating with that. They've been doing a live. Um, that's literally like it says it's a 24/7 and it's just been something that they've been just looping and it's been running on their channel for at least the last week. So, oh, Noel, yeah, I don't get to always get to see Noel on Thursday nights. I see it later. Yep, that's true, Marianne. A lot of them can be. That's why I'm always like, they say there can be a genetic disposition, and I learned from watching my brothers. I don't mess with this. I do not mess with anything that's addictive. When I hurt my spine, they threw Percocet at me right away, and it took the edge off, but it didn't stop the pain. And after 2 days of that, I'm like, look, this is not working. What is it that's actually causing the pain? Oh, well, all the inflammation, everything swelled up. The sheet swelled up because it's trapped between the spine and it's swelling up. So it's pinching the nerve even more. And I went, okay, so you're telling me all this pain is from inflammation? He said, yes. I said, okay, then why are we not treating the actual inflammation that's causing the pain instead of just throwing something at the pain? And he went, okay, we could try that, but you had a mini stroke when you were on high levels of ibuprofen. And I'm like, well, is there anything else? So that's when they put me on naproxen, and I have to monitor that and be very careful with that because there could be serious side effects from that too. But I make sure I drink tons of water. I only take it with a meal. Otherwise, it can mess up your stomach. You make sure you eat a lot more salads. You've got to get more fiber in your system. Um, there are things you have to do to be on that long term. And once we got me on that, the treating the inflammation, the pain level dropped significantly so that I wasn't screaming as much because I couldn't move without screaming. And that took the pain level down to where I actually could somewhat function. More than somewhat. I could function. Not well, not completely pain free. If I hit things the wrong way, twisted the wrong way, laying down. Those poor people at physical therapy, when they try to do the evaluation, they take you off in a side room. They just trying to lay me on the table, I screamed. And all of a sudden, all talking that was in the outer room just ceased. I think I scared the hell out of all the old people. So yeah, but as time went on and it was in my the longer it was in my system at set times, and I had my alarm clock set on my phone of exactly when and how far and I was taking it, and I would take it like he said, oh, it's every like so many hours, and I would add an hour to that so that it was. I couldn't at first, but then I could. I would stretch it out. I'm now to the point now where I only take it at dinner. I take it once a day now because in the morning I'm fine. Most of the day, as long as I'm careful, I'm fine. But if I don't have a chance, like today, there was never a chance to lay flat and rest my back for at least an hour. And that eats up time in your day. When you have to lay flat for an hour or 2 hours, that just eats time that you could be doing something else. Especially as I lay flat with the heating pad under my back and I fall asleep. If I forget to set my alarm, I'll be asleep for 4 hours. Well, there goes part of a good chunk of your time. But if I don't get to rest my back, then I still have to take it. So like today just was nuts. So I made sure I took it at dinner so that I will be able to lay flat without having any spasms. Because the way it's pinched, sometimes I get muscle spasms. Not in the calf. Like a Charlie horse is usually in the calf muscle of your leg. I get them like I'll get them in the top of the arm. I'll get them in my hand because the pinched nerve is still on the right side, and I'll get it in the upper thigh. And but they are Charlie horse. And boy, the one that gets me the most is not the hand one because you can stop your fingers from curling, but the one right there because it pulls and it's right in between two muscles, and whatever it's pulling, it pulls both of those muscles. So it pulls your bicep, and then it pulls whatever is over here, and man, it leaves you really sore muscles. All right. What do we got here? Yeah, I called BS on the hospital. I talked about that. I'll have to go back and watch Noelle. And you take naproxen too, Kathy. So yeah, you know the fun of the side effects. And yeah, I oh yeah, my toes curl this way sometimes. That that's sucking. Just sucks. That just sucks because that hurts too. I found out from a dancer, professional dancer once, that when you get a Charlie horse in your leg, in the calf, if you get your toes and pull them back like this, it does something. And I've done it, it works. And it does something that immediately stops the Charlie horse, but it also works for your toes. The problem is though the toes hurt so much and it's very hard to get to where I usually end up trying to stand up and lean forward on something so I can push the toes back. But it's the only thing that seems to help. So anyway, yes, we do. I do tend to find interesting stuff. Like I said, you never know, and I'm gonna have to look up that Wanamaker's button that's in here, find out what that's about. John Wanamaker's, huh? Wanamaker stores. That button's got to be off of a uniform. But I found some Christmas decorations that I can hang up that the kittens can't get to, and we found some interesting stuff. And we found where would that one go? That jar. And we found what? Two things from my great grandparents' house, which was this one, the ashtray, and the curling iron. You believe I used to use that for years? I used that. That is a very, very, very old curling iron, but it makes the most perfect ringlets. So when you're doing operettas, perfect for your hair. So, yeah, you never know. You never know what we're gonna find. So, didn't find as much that it would end up in a live sale as I thought we might. We never know for that. I do know in the I think of the 4 boxes that are left downstairs in the playroom, at least 2, if not 3 of them are fabric. Don't know what's in the very, very bottom one because the one on top is too heavy for me to slide around and move. So I know I have to get that stuff measured and see about getting a fabric sale together. The sooner the better, because it's December 1st. Well, we're past midnight, so it's December 2nd now. I have this month and part of January, I have to have all that stuff out of Paul's warehouse. And I remember I had said that pile was 7 feet one direction, 6 feet another, and easily, I'm 5'4" my shoes. That pile was easily over 6 feet tall. It's definitely over 6 foot tall. It's most of it. So we're looking at a 7-foot tall pile as well. And all of that piles of boxes have got to come back here and get sorted and get squared away as fast as possible. So um, with Mike's shift being all screwed up, if I can get through that stuff tomorrow, um, I need to get through all the books that were pulled and either film another drop sale for books and or get the ones online because they're in my way. Right now they're sitting on the table I use for packing boxes, which is why I have some boxes and not others. So I had to move them to get to this box to bring it upstairs. So they're all now sitting on my card table I'm using for packing. So I need first thing in the morning, I need to work on them, get them dealt with, get them out of the way. And because I know there's at least 8 books that need to get put onto eBay. The sooner I get them processed, they're out of my way, I can start packing again and get you guys your stuff. So one box at a time. Cut the top box open on this side. The problem is that like so some of these boxes, I'm gonna need to reuse them. When we come to stuff that is stuff to keep, I'm gonna still need to use the box. One box did not survive. I tried to slide it to move it, and the entire side of the box just went and ripped right off. The fabric in it was too heavy to move. So there's one box that's definitely shot. So, uh, one day at a time, one box at a time, getting through it. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through all of it together. And, I hope I can be inspiration for those of you who either lived in a house that's stuffed full of things for whatever reason, whether it's your own stuff that's gotten a little bit away from you or a lot away from you. I mean, a lot of the stuff, there's quite a bit in this house that's mine. And when mom died, it didn't really hit me because I had to worry about Mike and I had to have, there were so many things that had to change. And it didn't really hit me until Mike had to move out and go live with his dad to finish high school because I got downsized out of a job at the Delaware Art Museum. Absolutely loved the job, but they downsized me out of being in the gift shop, and I no longer then had the money to send him to Monsignor Bonner Boys School. So then without him here, then everything hit me. All the grief of losing mom, all the stress, everything just hit me. And I had severe depression, and things here just kind of stagnated for 2 solid years before I finally started finding ways to get help. So, I know, Nora, we had thought about that too. Mike had thought about going, well, what if we got a storage unit just in the short term, but they're still, they're still expensive. And he's already, at that point, then he's realizing that he's already paying quite a bit, but that's part of his rent. I mean, he's paying out like $600 a month, and then he went and bought $800 worth of oil, and that only got us 150 gallons. That didn't fill our tank at all. So when he saw that, then he realized that to get a short-term storage unit really is off the table, because I'm not processing stuff fast enough that I'm bringing in enough money to even cover my own stuff that I need to take care of, and he can't pick up any more slack. He can't. It's not fair to him to be picking up more. So because he's already putting out between between the phone bill, the internet bill, the electric bill. Um, he pays that. He pays that. He pays that. He pays that. He's paid for. So let's see. We both paid for the fridge. He paid for the washer and dryer. Um, he he's buying me a stove at some point. He's already done all these big outlays of money where he's putting out quite a bit. Um, the lawnmower is his too, come to think of it. So is the blowy leaf blower. Um, yeah, every appliance we've had replaced, he's had his hand in, his financial hand in. So it's just not possible. Oh, the boxes from the grocery store. Um, Possibly, but a lot of the boxes I have are the exact same size because they were from when I worked at the bookstore. So it's great because they're all a set size and they're all a size I can actually lift because they're short. Because so I need to go over to, I guess because Walden Books doesn't exist anymore, to Borders and see if I can get any of their shipping boxes. But there's no bookstore near me. I have to go down to Delaware. That's where the nearest Borders is. But Jeanette, I have to when I go to see my doctor on the 13th, we're gonna have to have that discussion. I have avoided wanting to go on disability because I've only ever worked in retail. That wasn't the plan. I mean, I was putting myself through college to get a secondary education degree and a communications degree. I was a dual major. But then I got my nephew, and I couldn't do school full time, work full time, instant parent full time to a 2-year-old. So I gave up on school because I couldn't give up on having a job. I had to give up on school. Um, so I've spent my entire life in retail. Well, in retail, you're never going to make that much. Even when you're assistant manager or even manager, like I was for the Hallmark store, you don't make a huge salary. So going on disability, you only get a portion of what your Social Security would be. That portion is not going to be much. But at this point, it looks like I'm going to have to. I tried to get public assistance, and I did get small amount of food stamps, which is great and been helpful because now I can afford to eat salads because doing that is expensive. Um, so I have food stamps for me, and it's actually a little more than what I use because I don't eat that much meat and but the big thing is this I like salads, but the stuff to put in them tends to be pricey. Um, just because we're going into the winter too, and that means more shipping costs. Produce always goes up over the winter on the East Coast. But for disability, I don't know that I get that much because of having been in retail all those years. But we're gonna look into that now. I have to talk to the doctor first because he'll have to sign off on it. I do know that much. And then it sounds like from everything I've been finding out and hearing, I'll have to find a lawyer because it seems like the only way you get approved is if you get a lawyer to process it through. So it is something that I finally bit the bullet that I'm gonna look into and or started already to look into to go on disability. I hate the idea, but because I'd really rather put that off if I could until I was at least 60, but I can't. So it also, nobody ever wants to admit that their body has failed them that much that they have to do it. But a back injury where you can't really lift, It's just been a heck of a learning curve this last year and a half, and a very frustrating one when I've had to admit and get used to the limitations. I think the biggest one that bothers me the most is gardening. I cannot bend and rip a weed out of the ground. If it's got a decent taproot, I can't do it. I hate that. Especially there's ivy all over my property and I'm allergic to it. I get a rash from regular ivy and it's popping up everywhere because I haven't been out and been able to be out in the yard for 2 full summers. And it's just popping up everywhere. And I can't stand the stuff and I can't touch it. So yeah, and see, my medical history's the last year and a half for what I would with the pinched nerve, what I would have to. So you see, I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, the typical allergy cold. We finally had some nights of freezing, so a lot of the leaf mold has gone. So my allergies have gotten better. Um, so I'm doing pretty well. Pretty well. My back's tired today because I didn't get a chance to rest it. But other than that, so well, that's particle board. That's still wood, right? Knock on that. Knock on Mike's desk. So yeah, it's very hard to face when you can't do stuff physically. And I am very stubborn. Very stubborn. I never want to admit that stuff. Other things, I'm good. I'll admit when I'm wrong about something. I take care of that. I'm fine. But when I can't do something physically, I'm very frustrated and stubborn. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the gardening, the not being able to garden is just, that one's just sets my teeth on edge still. Just makes it like the jaw goes all tense because I just hate that so much. So, what's my zodiac sign? Okay, so figure this one out. Technically, I'm a Scorpio because it's October 27th. However, it always seems to follow more the Libra. Now, somebody once told me that has something to do with, I don't know, some alignment or whatever from when I was born. But yeah, I'm an anomaly. I'm an anomaly in so many ways. I think part of the one thing I'm an anomaly from is because I grew up with all guys except for Daria. So most of my friends, most of my life have been the men and guys. So I'm always one of the guys. I hang out with guys. I know how to speak guy. You know, I sit like a guy. So yeah. And because my sister is 14 years older than I am, I was just explaining this to Mike that one of the things I miss about Thanksgiving was the poker game. Or sometimes it was poker. Most of the time it was Rummy 500. But after Thanksgiving dinner, while the women were in the kitchen doing the dishes, I had nowhere to go because I'm the youngest of six. My sister's 14 years older. Karen and David married right out of high school. David is 12 years older than me. So they would, Karen and Phyllis and my mom, they'd all be out in the kitchen about husbands. And they would shoo me away because I was too young. Well, now what am I supposed to do? I'm like 15 and you don't want me hearing all this stuff. And so now what? So I would stay at the table with the men and dad Dad would sit there and we would have the best game we had. We had my dad, my brother David, my brother Gary, my brother Roy, me, my brother-in-law Bob, and we would have to put two decks of cards together and we'd play Rummy 500. And then some nights when uh, if it got late enough, then and that game finished early, then we'd start playing Penny Ante poker, 5 card draw. So yeah, I was always with, even at home, I was always with the guys, and my brothers were all Boy Scouts, and if they needed something on a trip, Mom would take the keys, go up to the church. Dad had been a scoutmaster, then he was assistant scoutmaster. Get the keys. They'd take me with them. I can remember being run up to summer camp, and the guys would take my hair and put it in a ponytail and give me somebody's scout shirt and make me button it all the way up and have the neckerchief, but my hair would be down the shirt, and they'd put a scout hat on my head, and they would take me to the merit badge classes, even though I'm younger, way younger than these guys, and they would take me with them. And I would sit there for the day and have a blast being sitting in these merit, and I'd do all the stuff, and they'd take me to leather work or art, or I'd sit through mammal studies and learn about animals, and I was troop mascot, so always around guys. Your game was, yeah, see, I would like to learn how to play Pinochle, but I never learned how to play any card games other than, of course, everybody knew how to play War. And then Rummy 500 and 5 card draw for poker. That was the only card games I ever knew how to play. Well, my parents knew how to play so many more, but by the time I came along, they didn't do that. They used to get together and play Pinochle with Aunt May and Uncle John, who technically weren't related, but we grew up calling them Aunt and Uncle. And then, now my parents never played bridge, but my one grandmother did. My dad's mother played bridge, and she used to have bridge game. They would alternate whose house it was at, these 4 ladies. So every week it'd be at a different house, and they'd play bridge. Her bridge cronies, they'd play bridge. So, the screws coming out. These glasses are so old. I need new ones, but I just found out my eye doctor doesn't take my insurance anymore. A hair caught in there. So I have to find an all new eye doctor to get new glasses and get new eye exam, because they don't work. I can't read anything that's too far away. And then even up close, I have trouble. Even like I tilt my head a lot, so I'm looking through the bifocal part instead of the top part. Because looking through the top part, I can't read any of the chat, and it's only 2.5 feet away. I have to tilt my head back and look through the bifocals. So nobody tells you when you hit 50, the warranty expires and everything starts breaking down. But the eyes went long before that. So, what's Euchre? I've never heard of that one. Am I pronouncing that right? Euchre? Kathy, you're telling me a new card game here. I don't even know what that one is. I was so happy when Uno came out. Boy, that one was so easy to do. All the information's right on the cards. So, all right. So it's 20 after 1, and we're to the point where Nancy starts rambling. Euchre. Okay. Euchre. I'll have to look that one up and find out what that is. I've never heard that one before. So I hope you guys had fun. Buttons are in the bag of buttons is in the way of the mouse here. But It is. There's still 17 of you who's still awake and watching, huh? Well, I hope you had fun. If you're watching this on the replay, 90% of this is probably not going to be for sale. Certainly not the fairy pictures. Oh, a shorter version of Pinochle. Okay. 7:20 a.m. PC, where are you at? I don't think I've ever asked you before. Where are you at that it's 7:20 in the morning? Are you like Dolores? Dolores is Dolores in Scotland, or is she right above it? I always forget. Dolores, Miss Damn Jewelry is. Oh, you're in Poland. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out who is in India, because one of the things you can do with your channel is like you can look and see what countries. And for some reason, like New Zealand, okay, one of my subscribers is New Zealand. Well, that's Nate. I know who that one is. That one's Nate. And then it has like 4 in Great Britain. Well, one of them I think pretty sure is Dolores from Miss Damn Jewelry. Not sure who the other 3 are. One might be Zoe, who I've talked about her, Zoe Mulford, the Mid-Atlantic folk singer. Because her dad still lives here, not far from me, and she's in England. So one of them might be Zoe, and but I had to laugh because it popped up and it's like there's a couple in there from India. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had anybody from India watching me. Hello. So that was a surprise to see that one pop up in there. So, but hey, the world is a much smaller place with all this technology, isn't it? Now you got emails you can send halfway around the world a lot faster than your handwritten pen pal card could. So, oh, so I'm gonna go, and I hope you all have. Oh, my throat's drying out. I hope you all have a good weekend. I know in my area, I think it's supposed to rain again on Sunday. I'm not looking forward to that. But I mean, what Mike did lessen the leak. So whatever he managed to do, he did manage to stop some of it. But it rained so hard the other day, and I needed to let you know that I just couldn't. They were watching the Queen. Oh yes, when she was on. Um, but when it rained so hard the other day, I was looking out the bathroom window at the back of the house here. I could not see. I could see the house directly behind me on this block. I could not see the house across the street from that house. The rain was that heavy, and it was coming through the door jamb of Michael's door. I'm amazed that it did not end up on the first floor, because it's done that before he the last time he's been up on the roof trying to plug up whatever, because we're not even sure where the leak's coming from, because we can't find anything on the roof. It's like where the heck is that raccoon getting in? That raccoon, it gets in right above me. Now luckily there's nothing. This master bedroom was added on in the 1930s, and so it's a stone wall, it's a brick wall on that side, and it doesn't meet up with the bedroom that's above the room on the other side of that wall. And then going this way, the eaves on the roof don't meet. Like it's so this roof this roof comes down this way, but the other roof goes this way, so there's no opening between the eaves where it could climb through. Because if it could, the thing would be looking down at me from that hole in the ceiling in the hallway. So thank heavens, this is a separate little eaves spot above my head. Which, if it had a door and a floor in it, would be another attic. It's huge. It's the same size up there as my attic. If there were a door cut into the landing on the third floor, we could turn that into another storage space. But that ain't happening now because I'm not putting a hole anywhere where that thing could get into the house. I already had one raccoon in the house at one point, and I was late for work because of that raccoon. I even took a picture of it. It was downstairs eating the cat food. Here it had gotten in the third floor window, lost a pane of glass, and we didn't know it. And it had brought its babies in, and they were in the room, the packing room on the third floor that has all the boxes in it. And it was in there, and we didn't know it. And she had the babies in there, and the door was open. So at night, she was coming downstairs and eating the cat food and then going back up. And I got called into work to come in at midnight one night. And I come downstairs and I flip the kitchen light on, and there's a full grown raccoon in my kitchen eating the cat food. Man, that was an experience. I hollered for Mike. Mike comes down. He's trying to block it from going up the steps, and it kept trying. I kept trying to get it to go out the door, and it kept trying to go down the hallway to go up the stairs, and he's up there. He's up there with a bow and arrow ready to shoot the thing if it hurts me. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure. Look at the face on it. It's a perfect mask. I'm pretty sure this is Mama. This is the one that had been out back. So, and it was her, but she'd gotten in. They'd climb the trumpet vine on the side of the house and get up and over because they would eat there's a pin oak tree on the other side, and they would go through the gutter on the kitchen roof. It's a built-in gutter, and they would climb the vine and go over there, and they would forage for the acorns to eat that were caught in the gutter. Yeah, a real bow and arrow. It's a compound bow that's his, and he's got some real arrows for it, not target arrows. It came with some hunting arrows, but he's never hunted with it. But he needed to have a compound bow because he does the archery merit badge, and he only had a regular bow, and he needed to have a compound bow as well. And he picked it up off Facebook Marketplace real cheap, and it came with a couple of hunting arrows. And so he's standing there ready to, plug this thing, and I'm going, no, unless you know where to hit it to, no, you're not. And if you look, I got it back out to the kitchen, and I shut the kitchen door, and so the thing started trying to hide because it was scared. So it got behind the stove. So I took a small bowl, and I put some water in it, and I pushed it over near it, and then I pushed it closer to it with the broom, and it came out, and it looks at me, and it smells the water, drank all the water that was in there, and then it just looked at me again. And I took a handful of because dry cat food is like kitty crack to a raccoon. They love dry cat food for some reason. And I literally started lining up every 6 inches a little piece of dry cat food, and then took the whole bowl and stuck it on the porch, propped open the kitchen door, and it worked its way out the door. And as soon as it was out that door, I slammed and locked the inside door. But then I took a flashlight and I went out the front door and I watched to see where she was going. And she came around and she went right on up and I could see her go over and then I could hear rustling in the vines. And that's when we found out that they were getting into the attic window. Well, not the attic window, but the third floor bedroom window because I was watching her. I was an hour late for work that night. And luckily I had photographs of her so that I texted the photo to my boss going, I'm going to be late because this is in my kitchen and it shouldn't be. So he didn't take any, he didn't write me up or anything for being an hour late because I sent him the picture. He's like, nope, no, that's not a problem. You got to take care of that. Yeah, having Aunt May had a pet raccoon. It was a baby, and her cat, her outdoor cat, had come home with it. What did you just knock over, kitty cat? But her cat came home with a baby raccoon in its mouth, really, really young. And she didn't know what to do with it, had no idea where the mother was. And so she raised it. And so as a young kid, I'd been around a raccoon that basically was tame, and it had its own little home in the garage, had nice warm. It didn't have the run of her house or anything, but as kids, we could go out and play with it. If you rolled a tennis ball to it, it would roll it back at you, and it would sit there, and we'd feed it and play with it, and so I wasn't afraid of a wild one because this was one. The masks are always very unique, and I was 100% sure this was Mama, who had been living in my kitchen porch roof. Um, so I knew it knew me, and I knew it, but I didn't. It's not like I was going to just walk over, and pick it up and carry it out the door. I'm not that crazy. But I knew not to panic because with wild animals, if you panic, one of two things is going to happen. The predators are going to look at you like, I smell fear. This is prey. You don't want that. You absolutely don't want that. And the smaller ones, like a raccoon, they're going to freak out because you're going to scare them. And there really is nothing more dangerous than a cornered animal because of their fear. So if you don't panic and you don't freak out and start making a lot of noise, you don't scare them, then you're much more likely to not have any problems and be able to find ways to coax them out of where they are so that they are out where they should be instead of in your kitchen. So, so our house was the house that had all the weird pets. Um, when I grew up, we had a squirrel monkey named Tahi. Um, any wild critter that got hurt, the neighborhood kids would always seem to bring it here. Roy had two squirrels. One didn't live, one did. Um, I know we had baby possums. The mother had been hit by a car right out front. We tried to bottle feed them. They didn't. None of one of them made it. I had a rabbit, Lurch. We did a whole story about Lurch, which was the caiman that was a smaller version of an alligator, ended up in a bathtub. There's a whole video where I talked about Lurch. I mean, honestly, we could do a whole thing on family pets. That's why I will never, ever read Stephen King's Pet Cemetery because there's just way too much buried in that backyard. So, yeah, I mean, I've grown up with all kinds of odd animals around. I mean, not like it was a zoo or anything, but I mean, how many people do you know that grew up having a squirrel monkey in the house? So yeah, I've had my share of wildlife. So all right, well it's 1:30. Oh, PC, yes. I did just say a small alligator. Let's see if I can get to YouTube, get to my channel. Let's see if I can easily find it. It wasn't a video, it was a live. It was a while ago. Here we go. I'll put the link in for you, darling. Okay, copy that. Oh, wow, look how short my hair is in that one. Okay. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute, because I have to move this box over a little bit to get to that keyboard. Actually, you know what? Let's just. Box is mostly empty. I can move it. Let's see. Okay, let's get to Mike's keyboard. And. Okay. What did I touch? I hate this keyboard. I got weird stuff here. Okay. Link. Oh, that's a K. What? I hate this keyboard with a passion. There we go. Lurch. There we go. There's the link for you, hon. There you go, PC. There's the link. Technically, it was called a caiman. A caiman is basically a shorter version of an alligator. And that was the night I decided to do story time, and we talked about Lurch. And unfortunately, it wasn't my pet. I don't have any photographs of Lurch. But yeah, you'll love that story. If any of you ever need a laugh, look for that one, or look in my. You can find it under. There's one about how the night I killed Frosty the Snowman, and that was a challenge from another YouTuber, and that one's in the playlist for challenges, where it was to tell a funny Christmas story, and so I had taken a wooden cutout of Frosty the Snowman that had broken, and I had been invited to this large bonfire that was run by a friend of mine, and it was a there was a lot of people. I mean, there were easily 60 people there, 50, maybe 60, and it was a benefit for rescuing horses. And yeah, I burned Frosty, and some poor little kid uh, wasn't happy, we shall say. Hi, Frodo. Come on. Make the leap, dude. Come on. You can do it. Make the leap. Come on, chicken little. He's not going to come over. He was thinking about it. There he goes. He's going to go find Arwen and pester her. But, yeah. Cayman, and you say it so lightly. Yeah. I do say it lightly. You'll understand why when you watch that video. Yeah. He wasn't my pet. And they were legal. They were legal to sell back then. They're not now. But yeah, I say it really lightly. Yep. Just like I say about how we had a squirrel monkey. Yeah, we had some odd pets. Not super many of them, but yeah, those are the two big ones. Tahi, the monkey, and Lurch, the caiman. Yeah, yeah. Well, that would have been America in the late 70s, early 80s, late 70s especially. Yeah, no, late 70s. You could go into Philly and you could buy a lot of different kind of animals. Um, yeah, a lot of stuff was still legal. It was crazy. Um, oh, cool, Burning Man festival. Yeah, this was more than just a snowman shaped. This was something somebody was moving and they gave to me, and it was made out of from a sheet of like it was 6 feet tall, Frosty. It was made from a sheet of plywood, and he had hand cut it out and hand painted it, and the head was exactly the same head as the Rankin Bass cartoon that we all know and love and have grown up with. So I don't like Frosty. That cartoon is like completely freaked me out. For some reason that particular Frosty just gives me the creeps. The Rankin Bass one. So in my small but growing vintage snowman collection, none of them are the Rankin Bass Frosty the Snowman. None of them. No. So no. Because for some reason that one just gave me the creeps as a kid. Um, but yeah, that was the head of this one, and yeah, that poor child, I'm sure, is a grown up now and in therapy. Absolutely sure of it. But the video is how I killed Frosty. Look, and I shouldn't have shut that down, but I can get back in there. I'll drop this in and then we'll call it a night. We will definitely call it a night. Playlists. I know it's just faster for me to go through. That's the Lurch one. Fairy route. Oh, is it not? Where is it? Oh, duh. Show me all playlists. Not where I was the guest. There it is. Challengers. Black hole challenge is under there. Oh, Katie's 1950s Jello thing is under there. Here we go. Copy. Oh wow, that's from December 1st, 2020. So this is actually from just 2 years ago. Okay, so here we go. Why did that not type anything? Okay, there we go. I accidentally hit the cap lock. There you go. How I killed Frosty the Snowman. Merry Christmas and have fun. It was, I think it was Vintagerous. I think it was her channel that it started. It's been 2 years ago. And the funny part is I filmed that it says December 1st, 2020. So, so that video is 2 years old now. Uh, but I think it was Vintagerous that started it. But it was a challenge and it went out to a couple of us. Katie from Vintage and Vinyl did one, and a couple other people did one, and it was to tell a funny Christmas story that had happened to you. And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that one because while I have a lot of fun things like the cat in the tree, the squirrel in the tree falling over, there's a lot with 6 kids and all the different animals we had. There are some fun Christmas stories, but that one, I think that one is the best one I've got. And yeah, that poor child. That poor child is now a grown adult in therapy because Mike was with me, and um we spent the night. We stayed in a tent. We spent the night there, and Mike's 28 now, and Mike was somewhere between 8 and 10 when that happened. So it's been, even if he was 10, that was still 18 years ago. This poor little child. So there you go. Have a good laugh with that one. And PC, you're gonna be totally shook when you do the one about Lurch. But I think you'll have a laugh. But yeah, there you go. Hi, Marcy. So there you go. There's two of my videos to go have fun and watch. If you don't know about the Lurch, the Odd Family Pets, we had a story time one night on that because I'd had 3 people email me going, I need to know more about Lurch because I had mentioned him in passing at some point. And so we did a story time that was just about Lurch. And honestly, if you ever see anything, hear me say something that you want to know more about, and in a live chat, just let me know. Let me know. I keep track of that, and I'm always trying to figure out content for nights we're not having a sale. And let me know, and I'll add it to the list. Right now, the list is empty. You know, the list is empty for if you want to have story time chat. Where we just go over something. So I did find a new catalog. I need to start doing more of those and get those up because I've got some vintage catalogs that I want to get filmed and get so I can add them into a live sale. I've got some Hirschner's catalogs, but I also found, I think it's a Spiegel catalog. And going through one of them, um, if I can do it up here with Michael's setup, I could get a much better picture of when than it is of me trying to hold the phone over top of it. Um, I can get a much better picture with this, I think, if I do it that way. And I want to go through that whole catalog because I think it's from 1979, and then I can just do a whole series and like drop it every Sunday, where you get another maybe 20 pages of the catalog that we go through and see what are the styles and the fashions and the household stuff for the 1970s. So I think that would be fun. So I'm gonna go. I have to get all this cleaned up. Mike will be done work at 3 a.m. So I have to get all this out of here and get his desk back to what it was before he gets home. And then I can get to bed. I have to get up in the morning, tackle those books, and then get back to packing and invoicing. And hopefully there'll be no changes to that plan in the morning. That's oh wait, no, let's turn that one off. But hopefully, yeah, that there will be no changes. Oh, hello. Did you come to say goodbye? Hi, Elrond. Where's your collar? Where's your collar, little man? You've lost your collar. They all have snap release collars, And the problem is they wrestle so much that they beat them up. And now he's lost his somewhere either in the house or in the basement because they're all being little brats and getting into the basement now. You gonna go? Can you make that leap? There you go. So, so have a good night and have a good weekend. Yeah, that's Elron. Elron is the one. Elron and Gimli were the two that were planned to be kept. And originally, Elron was supposed to be Mike's cat, but Elron bonded with me. Gimli bonded with Mike. Gimli is so much Mike's cat. He walks in the door, and that cat can be anywhere in the house and will follow him up here to his room. The one that's really latching on to me lately is Aragorn. He does. If I'm sitting at the computer, he doesn't care. He was so desperate to get into my lap. Now, last night he was sick. He didn't feel good, and he was in my arms for 2.5 hours, just sleeping. He had dry nose, warm feet. He was sick. His tummy was gurgling. But he seemed fine. He's been fine today. But he just loves trying to be in my arms if I'm downstairs at the desk. That's a problem because I need to work. So he's turning into quite the mama's boy. But I still need homes. I need homes for him and Arwen and Frodo. But that's I keep trying. I keep trying. So have a great weekend, and I will. I have to talk to Lisa and find out. Well, first I got to find out what the weather report is, and when Michael's working. If he's working while it's a heavy storm coming through, I won't be able to do the live with me on Sunday because I'll be stuck up here. But anyway, I'll work all that out. We'll see if there will be a live. I also have to double check and see with Flippin' Crazy because her live sale on Sunday is usually at 2:00. And I know she didn't have one this past Sunday because she wasn't feeling too good. And she just had a live today because it was her birthday. So happy birthday, Lisa. I know if you're not watching tonight, you'll see this on the replay. But she and I are trying to get together for a sale. I think it really would be kind of too soon for me to get things together to do it with her on Sunday. But we'll see. But watch for that. I'll make sure I do a promo for it on my channel. And for all I know, she'll be on my channel or I'll be on hers. We haven't worked out all the details. And Marianne at, I think Marianne left us. What is it? All in the Attic Treasures. Am I getting her channel right? All in the Attic Treasures, Marianne. She and I are going to try to hook up to do a live sale together. So keep watching for that. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Because if it's not Sunday, I will definitely be here next Thursday. Next Thursday will absolutely be a sale. And also watch for drop sales coming up. If you are a member, I do have memberships now on the channel. If you are a member, if you're the basic $1.99 a month member, that gets you night owl emojis you can use in the chats. And if you are part of the fairy realm, which is the next level up, which is $4.99 a month to support the channel, you get there's so far there's only one. There will be more. You will get special videos that are just for the members, and you also get any drop sales 24 hours in advance of everybody else. So there will be more drop sales absolutely coming up. I'm hoping that on Saturday I'll be able to get one filmed, but you get them first for the first 24 hours if you are part of the Fairy Realm membership. all memberships, all super chats, all super thanks, all buy me a teas. They all are going towards when I need it to go towards. Did you just knock over my box with pictures in it, you silly thing? That all goes towards if I need it to, if I'm short a little bit to feed them, it feeds them. But the rest is all getting funneled to be put aside to get that roof repaired properly. And I'm still looking for grants, but grants never cover 100% of everything. So all that goes to that. And I thank you all for those who have done any of those things and helped me out. So that's everything. Virtual hug. Thank you. And I hope you guys have a pleasant time this weekend. Stay safe, stay dry, stay warm. And I will see you, if not sooner, definitely next Thursday night. Bye. Where is every? Okay, wait. There's the mouse. I buried the mouse again. Bye.